shove it. It's time, ladies and gentlemen. Our next act is a good mate of mine and a wonderful comedian. His name's Nick Hill, and he's brilliant. You'll absolutely love him. So we give him another warm welcome. I think we will ask people at the back to start off the applause this time. Are you ready? Look at them. Look at them. It's like a Mexican way. We can start the applause off. And we're going to join in. We're going to welcome the day, Nick Hill.
Yes, another little person. This is nice. I've travelled up from Gloucester today, and I like to do some research on where I'm going to gig. And this is, Towcester, fantastic. Oldest inhabited town in the UK. Goes back to the Stone Age, and just looking round, formerly known as lactodernum. Does sound like a sexually transmitted disease. Got to be honest, and you've got to mention the Pickwick Papers, and I'm thinking, I'm really looking forward to coming in tonight. And I looked on TripAdvisor, your top 3 best places to go in Towcester, in reverse order. Towcester Racecourse, Silverstone Museum, and some weird place, is it Chatanga Llamas? Have we ever heard of that? No. 685 positive reviews on TripAdvisor, and it's in Towcester somewhere, and none of you have heard of it. Doesn't fucking exist, does it? It's just wandered into Narnia. But I was thinking, Towcester, I'm really looking forward to this. And then I looked at your crime statistics. Amongst the top 5 most dangerous small towns in Northamptonshire. And there's a website called I Live Here, which has some interesting comments on. And for the purpose of this lecture, I've had to change the 5-letter C word to coots. But you'll get the gist. Although Towcester may not be as big as many other shit towns, it probably has more coots per square foot than any of them put together. This next bit, I love this. The really hard coots tend to frequent the Wreck, where they improve their minds by cutting the heads off ducks and setting fire to the dog bins. Northampton police lady, have you arrested a coot lately? These coots sometimes stand outside the community centre and do their bit for that community by shouting abuse at anyone not wearing Burberry. And that was written by David Tarban, your mayor. It wasn't, obviously, for the purpose of this, I just made that bit up. But you all seem nice, you all seem really grounded people and down to earth. Because I've got to be honest, not every audience is the same. I did a gig in a place called Ashton Keynes near Cirencester before Christmas. And I just went and I said, oh, it's lovely to be here in Ashton Keynes. And straight away from the back, this lady put her hand up and said, oh, excuse me, young man. I know it's spelt Keynes, but here in the village, we prefer to pronounce it Keynes. I hope you don't mind. No, not at all. Does make you sound like a bit of a pretentious cant. That's spelled C-A-N-T. But in my village, we prefer to pronounce it, and she left. Pete didn't mention this, but he's very modest, right? And he didn't mention this, but me and him have been up here, well, we've been up here all day today. And I'm just delighted to announce that both he and I, we have secured 2 leading roles at the Durngate Theatre in Northampton for a major production, which has got a 6-week run in December this year. We're just waiting for the name of the other 5 actors. you get that? I told my wife that, she hadn't got a clue who I was doing. But the other thing we've got in common is that in 2017, Pete won the Silver Stand-Up, and in 2022, I won the Silver Stand-Up at the Leicester Comedy Festival. Yeah, let me just... It's not that brilliant, I've got to be honest, right? So, to qualify, you've got to be over 55. That's it. Right? There's no upper age limit. When I did it, it was like God's waiting room for comedians. One of the acts, just before he's going to go on, he was slumped in a chair with his eyes closed, and we were looking at him, not knowing if he was asleep or dead. And somebody said, do you think we should, it's his turn, do you think we should wake him up? Oh, fuck it, leave it, it'll improve our chances. I went on, and I got to the final, and I won, and I got on the phone straight away, phoned my wife, I said, you'll never guess, after 4 years of trying, I've only gone and won. And she's like, oh, that's fantastic, what have you won? Because obviously she's from Mumbai, and she's actually from Bridgend, Welsh, wherever it was. Oh, was it you?
Yeah. I never said no.
You never said nothing. And she said, what have you won? I said, it's a trophy. Right. Anything else? No. Just a trophy. And I'm back home about 2 hours later, and I'm showing her this trophy. Oh, that's lovely, but is there anything else you want to tell me? No, I've just this trophy. I've been on the website. Oh, fuck it, have you? When were you going to tell me about the £500 cash prize? I was gutted, because I got lined up for something special. And she's like, what have I told you all through our marriage? I don't know, there's been so many fucking things. She said, never lie. And she's right. She's absolutely right. You know, you shouldn't lie. She went on a cruise last April for a week. She phoned me in the middle of the week on the Wednesday. You alright? Are you missing me? I remember what she said, never lie, so I was like, no. She started clutching at straws. I bet the dog's missing me. He fucking wasn't. He was loving life. He was sleeping on my bed. I was feeding from the table. We were down the bird. We went and got tattoos. Well, I did. He can't speak. I know that. But on the Friday, we were just sat in the pub, and he was just looking at me. And as I say, like, he can't speak, but I could read his mind. I was like, oh, Dad. This is brilliant, isn't it, really? Can we not just move and not tell her? We can't do that. We did try January this year. Still drank, just no sex. And it was her fault, because before Christmas she said, oh, we've been married so long, you don't have to get me a Christmas present, so I didn't. I don't fucking like it, to be honest. We celebrated Valentine's Day as well, and I did the romantic thing this year. I phoned the florist, said, can I order some flowers for your wife? She said, yeah. She said, do you want a card? I said, yeah, please. She said, what do you want on the card? So I just put, to Lynn, all my love, Nick. And then she said, do you want a kiss on the bottom? I went, yeah, that'd be brilliant. I'll be there in 20 minutes. And she went, no, I meant on the bottom of the card. I said, yes, I know, I'm a comedian, I was just making a joke. And quick as a flash, she said, I bet you don't get many gigs. Which, that's harsh, isn't it? But we have been married, I don't know, 20 odd years plus, and like she moaned, she said, there's no romance in our relationship anymore. I said, what do you mean? She said, maybe, when we're being intimate, it'd be nice just to have some music playing in the background, just to break the silence. So the first issue I had was finding a track that only lasted 17.3 seconds. That's alright. Get choice of song number 2 somewhat killed the mood, the theme from Match of the Day. And again, I think this probably sums up partly where our relationship is. Because we were sat watching a film, and she was at one end of the settee, and I was at the other end. And it was a crime film where this guy was going to smuggle drugs into the prison by wrapping them in cellophane and then shoving them up his arse. And we were just sat watching this film. She went, look at that. That's bloody ridiculous, that is. What is? Well, him doing that, wrapping it and shoving up his arse, because we know how hard it is to get something up there, don't we? And I looked at her and I said, we know, and she went, oh no, it wasn't you. We did our Valentine's Day at home, and we were sat there and said, can you remember how we met? I said, yeah, vaguely. So, well, you had an advert in the Lonely Hearts column in the local paper. In fact, you had 2, but I only replied to 1. Did you? What was that? So, well, in the second one, you put your height, right? I didn't know she had an issue with my height. I should have realised, because about a week after we got together, I just suggested go to Towcester for the day. And she was like, what's the point in you going? And then when we were married, I came home one day, she said, sit down, I want to ask you something. All right, what is it? How do you feel about being only 9 inches taller than the largest emperor penguin ever recorded? She fucking Googled it. If that wasn't bad enough, she worked in a school at the time, and I used to go and have coffee with her now and again. And I went in this one day, and the friend said, oh, Lynn's in a meeting, but she won't be long. Do you want a coffee? Yeah, I'll have a coffee. She said, well, go in up yourself, you know where it is. So thanks. Do you want a biscuit? Well, yeah, I'll have a biscuit. Why don't you pick up a penguin? They all They all knew. She also moaned there's no surprises in our relationship anymore. So, again, I took that on board. And the other night, she was in the bathroom getting ready. I went to the bedroom, turned the lights off, hid under the bed, and when she came in, I just grabbed her ankles. Apparently, that wasn't the surprise she had in mind. But she did surprise me just before Christmas, because she said, you have remembered you're picking me up from my work stool tomorrow. That was a total surprise, right? Because she's been retired 6 years. That's fine. So I got to the place at the right time. She got in the car. All I said was, "Had a nice time." Are you saying I'm drunk? Oh, don't finish. Don't stop. No, but clearly you've had a drink. Then we had silence for about 5 minutes. And then I got the classic. The thing is, I don't think you really love me. In fact, I don't think you've ever loved me. I said, well, I do, I have. Obviously no guarantees going forward. Well, if you love me, you can prove it. Right now. How am I going to do that? She said, you can get on top of me and make love to me in this car. I said, it's not going to happen. She said, give me one good reason. I said, I'll give you 3. She said, well, I said, well, number 1, it's 3:45 in the afternoon. Number 2, we're still outside Wetherspoons in the middle of Gloucester. And last but not least, we've got your girlfriend Chris in the back of the car. Because we're giving her a lift home. And that's the thing. She's got a girlfriend, Chris. She went away on that cruise for a week with her girlfriend. I paid for it. I didn't mind at all. I wanted one night away with my girlfriend to spend that £500 winnings. Oh, she just hit the roof. But she is retired, and I retired last year in March 2023, so I've been spending 24/7 with her, which is why it's a delight to be fucking out now. Because we've just got to that stage, I don't know if there's other retired people in, but we've just got to that irritating stage. And to be fair, it's nothing major. The breathing. And if we're out in the car, we'll come up to a T-junction, I want to turn right, and I'll say, is it okay to go? Yeah. And as I'm pulling out, if you're quick. Right, just... The one thing I've noticed since I've been retired, and again there might be some older people in the room, is the amount of time we seem to be spending at our local garden centre now. It's like every other day we seem to be down there. And we're down there so much, what, I've got a loyalty card. And we went in on my birthday in August, and I just went to get a coffee, and I gave the lady my card, and she went, oh, congratulations, birthday boy. Sorry? Sure, it's your birthday today, isn't it? It's come up on the card. Yeah, it is, thanks, but I don't need reminding how old I am. She said, well, it is good news, because you now qualify for a senior citizens discount. I said, is it going to cost me anything? She said, no, it's free. I said, okay, what's the main benefit of it? And she leant across and patted my stomach, and she said, you get 40% off a roast lunch now. And I said, just give me the card. And I took the card and I went and sat down, and I looked at it, and she was right. You do get 40% off a roast lunch if you qualify to be a senior citizen. Every Monday served between 9:30 and 11:15. And I thought, who the fuck eats a roast dinner on a Monday? Served between 9:30 and 11:15. And since August, I have been. We made New Year's resolutions this year, and she said, one thing I think you need to change, you need to be less angry. You really need to be less angry. But it's difficult. It is, and I don't mind sharing this with people. I've got issues, I've got anger issues. Well, let's call them by their proper name, shall we? Stepchildren. And I was having a conversation with one at Christmas, and I inadvertently used the word Eskimo. She went off on one. She said, that is so racist, that is so discriminatory, but you wouldn't understand because you've never been discriminated against. Sorry? She said, you have never been discriminated against. I said, fucking ginger, what are you on about? I said, let me tell you something. I said, I applied for a gig in Bristol last year. It said acts wanted, particularly those of LGBT or POC persuasion. I phoned up, so I'm interested in the gig. They said, are you LGBT? I went, no. They said, are you POC? I said, I've got to be honest, I don't know what it means. They said, a person of colour. I said, yes, I am. They said, what colour are you? I said, ginger. And they just put the phone down. I suffered as a kid with being ginger, with the name calling, you know, copper knob, cell, carrot top. You little ginger wanker. I can remember saying, Dad, just leave it. I was thinking of my dad the other day because I was watching something on YouTube. Again, probably the older demographic will remember this. Saturday afternoons, World of Sport. I used to love the wrestling. Can we remember the wrestling? Yeah. Proper wrestling. And after the wrestling, me and Dad used to have a pretend wrestle, and I was probably about 6, and I'd try and pin his shoulders down for the count of 3, and at the last minute he'd always pop one shoulder up. And I think, in a way, he was trying to teach me a life lesson, that being, no matter how hard something is, keep persevering, and when you finally achieve your goal, you'll feel brilliant. And he was right. Because when I finally managed to pin his shoulders down for the count of 3, it was brilliant. It was probably the best feeling in the world. He was not in tune in the care home. Suffering with brittle bone disease. Fuck it, a win's a win. And it wasn't just my father. I can remember coming home from school